All right, everybody, welcome to the Team Galardi. Sorry, we're just getting still getting situated here. Welcome to the Team Galardi Sellers Workshop today. I am really excited about this. I have got some really great, valuable information for you guys. And I know I'm jumping the gun. Still got to get some people in here today. But, oh, let me turn this volume down. There we go. I'm hearing myself on the background. Wow, interesting. YouTube automatically started my podcast or my screen there. Interesting. No problem. All right, we're back. So welcome to the Team Galardi Sellers Workshop. I am very thrilled to be bringing you this information today. It is, boy, I've got a wealth of information here. Everything from, we're going to talk about my history in Los Angeles selling real estate, the current brokerage that I'm with right now. We're going to talk about, sorry, I'm losing my notes here. The high cost of overpricing. We're going to talk about market trends and is selling right now the right time to be selling. And also we're going to touch on the forbearance issues that are coming up, as well as the final thing that we're going to do today, hopefully within this hour, is live pricing of a home. So I am really excited about this, maybe even a little nervous, which is not like me. I'm used to doing these things. So it's kind of interesting. But I want to tell you a little bit about myself, guys. I have been in real estate for the last 20 years in and around Los Angeles County. I have also managed some of the top LA brokerage firms out here. I was the regional director for Nest Seekers for many years. I had really focused in on recruiting and building wealth over there and strengthening the agents that we had. And then I transitioned into the agency, and I ran the agency and opened the agency over at Calabasas and Sherman Oaks for just a smidge under 3 years until coronavirus had hit. Now I'm currently with Sync Brokerage, and let me just tell you, Sync Brokerage is a boutique luxury real estate firm with a hyper focus in on technology. And we're going to touch on that in just a minute here. So going back to what we're going to talk about today is the Team Galardi company. And I just kind of want to read you directly from my website, really what sets us apart as agents, as a team, and as a company. So we pride ourselves on being accessible, great listeners, and always having our clients' best interests before our own. The real estate industry needs transparency, collaboration, and agents that can better service their clients through knowledge, education, and a commitment to ethics. At the Team Galardi Company, we're achieving all levels of this because it starts from the top, me. I won't settle for anything less than that. So that's kind of really the belief and the mission statement of the Team Galardi Company, and really why my team members and we're so successful is because we truly believe that it's the client first. And we're not just in this for the commission. My good friend Jake Lynn from All Things Telesales Podcast has a shirt that's made that says compassion before commission. And I will tell you that when I interviewed Jake and he interviewed me a couple of weeks ago, boy, that really just hit home. And I didn't realize that that was kind of my thought process over the last 20 years in real estate, that it was more about the person, the individual, the transaction, and making sure that you, the client, were happy. I guess that's also kind of why 92% of my clients are all sellers and most of them are repeat customers, is because I've really put my clients first. And I know it's an easy thing to say, but once you start working with me, once you start dealing with me, you will see that in the transaction that this is exactly how I treat it. It's a business to me. It's a business decision, your home, and I want you to make the best business decision possible. So when I look at your home and I give you a valuation for your home and I give you a pricing strategy, it is for business reason purposes only, not because you have the best chandelier, the greatest yard, artificial turf, nothing like that. It is because this is what's going to sell your home. And I always tell my clients, are you on the 30-day plan or the 120-day plan? Because I'm telling you that when you break down the numbers and you look at my game plan, and I might list your property for a little bit less than what every other agent's out there telling you, but guess what? I sell my properties. I have 0 listings right now because I've sold them all. Very, very simple. It's a super impactful statement because not a lot of agents can say that. I have 0 listings right now because I've sold them all. It's a great statement to say. I love saying that statement. So I hope that you guys really get a sense of who I am, Jason Galardi, and who the brokerage is, Sync Brokerage. I'm also the director of estates for Sync Brokerage. And again, they are a luxury boutique real estate firm with a hyper focus in on technology. Some of the things that Sync Brokerage has done, and let's just go back to pre-COVID. Sync has done so many things during the COVID crisis to actually educate their agents, train their agents, and really, I think more importantly, protect the clientele of Sync Brokerage. And that's a tremendous thing to say. Now moving forward in this era that we're in where you can't do open houses, you can't really do showings, but you can. You got to wear a mask. You got to sign this form called the PEAD, saying that you understand the risks about going inside of a home that has, a potential case or people that might have had coronavirus. So you're, limiting your risks there. You're limiting the showings as a seller. But really, Sync Brokers is taking them to a next step. And I'm going to show you an example here in just a minute. We have done virtual walkthroughs of a home, but I'm talking not just where you click a button and then you just look this way and look that way. This is 360-degree virtual walkthroughs that Sync Brokerage has launched. And we're doing this on every single listing now. It's incredible. So not only is Sync Brokerage protecting the clients, hi, Amy. Not only is Sync Brokerage protecting the clients, but we are, really taking it a step further and allowing the buyers out there to stay protected as well by staying in their homes and doing virtual walkthroughs. So we're going to show you a little bit of example about that is on YouTube, and you can see that. Let's go. What else we have? The high cost of overpricing we're going to talk about today. I am telling you that with my strategies, I have recouped 98.7% of my clients' asking price. That's in an up market and in a down market. And when you see how we do this and how we're able to achieve usually multiple offers on transactions, it is just incredible. What else do we have for you? We have the market trends. I'm going to show you that in some areas due to COVID-19, the property values have dropped, or at least I don't want to say the values, but let's just say the asking to the actually final sales price has dropped a whopping 25% in some areas. We're going to show you that. I'm also going to show you an area that's gotten 102% of their asking price. We're talking in the same time frame. So that's a great thing that we're going to dive into, as well as we're going to say selling now versus selling later. Is selling now the right time? The forbearance issue. This is something that I've been preaching for the last 90 days. I'm going to tell you all about the forbearances and how it's going to greatly affect your home's value and the real estate market. And then finally, we're going to do a live pricing of a home. Should we have time for that? I hope. So let's go right into the high cost of overpricing. And I'm going to share my screen here with you guys. Give me 1 second. I have to flip between a couple screens. All right, share screen. Here we go. We'll share the sound. And there we go. All right. So again, call, text, email today. At the Team Galardi Company, we pride ourselves in putting our clients' best interests before our own. Call today for a free consultation on buying, selling, or investing. I am a very non-pressured type of salesperson. I'm really more of an advisor and an educator to my clients. So I want you all to make the best decision possible when it comes to selling your home. Here's the topics that we're talking about today that I've covered a couple of times. Here's again my experience with over 2 decades of real estate experience in Los Angeles. And I'm also the director of estates for Sync Brokerage. Here's a little bit more about Sync Brokerage for you all. 6 key factors that they believe in: generosity, eco-friendly, honesty, humbleness, equality, and tech and marketing. I think I've covered the tech and marketing for you, but the one that really stands out to me is humbleness. Every single morning for the last 90 plus days, the owner of Sync Brokerage has dedicated an hour to all of his team, all of his agents every single day at 9:30 a.m. to 10:30. And you want to talk about humbleness. It's not only that that he dedicates his time, but he goes around the room to not only check in with everybody, make sure everybody's doing well, but also to collaborate. I mean, that's the true definition of collaborating and culture. It's a very easy thing to say that you've got culture and collaboration at your company, but when you have the owner sitting down with every single person that wants to be involved in these meetings, that's humbleness right there. So that's an incredible thing, and that's why I've chosen Sync Brokerage personally. All right, so how's my market? Let's just get right into it. Here are a lot of stats, and if you have any questions, there's a chat box down below, and if you're on YouTube, you're more than welcome to hit the comments down there. I've got the screen over here for me. So when I was talking about a market that is dipped, boy, let's look at Beverly Hills here. Beverly Hills in May of 2019 sold over $123 million of homes. Hopefully you guys can see that number up there on the top kind of middle left. In May 2020, a year later, height of COVID, right? Height of coronavirus, 36 million. So they went from 123 million in sales down to 36 million. Now, the real interesting thing to me here is that you go all the way to the very, very far right, hopefully, of your screen. You see the SP/LP, that's sales price versus list price. Now, the OLP is the original list price. That's really the number where I kind of care about. And when I talk about the high price of overpricing your property, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So on this $36 million that have closed, they are 27.5% off of the asking price from where they originally started at. So essentially, essentially what they had to do is they had to lower their price point almost 8% to finally sell this property, 20% off. So if you have a $10 million property, you're taking 20% off of that asking price and selling it for a $10 million property would be $8 million bucks, right? Okay. Now, if you have a, listen, that's a big number. If you have $1 million property, talking about 200 grand. So that's from $1 million down to 800. That's essentially what you're talking about right there. And I will tell you, the days on market for these properties was a long, long time. Let me move this for you guys here. So here, maybe I can underline that. That would help you guys. That should, we'll look at this bar right there. So yeah, so you can see that they're taking a 20% hit from their final listing price to their final sales price. Now, the one interesting number right here is that 2020 to date, they've sold $345 million. In 2019, and I'm talking to date, they sold 420. So the numbers aren't that far off, even though the listings are much, much, much lower. Volume-wise, sales-wise, I should say, they're much lower. Then you look at BHPO, almost, pretty close, not too dramatic right there. Sunset Strip, Sunset Strip, Hollywood Hills. They had $79 million of closed transactions in 2019. In 2020, they had 26 million. I mean, that's a tremendous amount of volume decrease right there of listings. This all goes around to say, my point later, that we need your listings. We need you guys to put your properties on the market, because we can show you numbers like, let's go right here, Sunset Strip, West Hollywood, or Hollywood Hills. If you look at this, April 2020, there was $38 million of sales. 2020 to date, 365 million, not too far behind where they were from 2019, even though the inventory's greatly decreased. But listen to this. The sales price versus the old listing price got 100% of the asking price. If you live in Sunset Strip, Hollywood Hills, I want to talk to you. You're going to virtually get your asking price. You list it for $1 million bucks, you're going to get $1 million bucks, maybe even slightly more. So this is a phenomenal hot area that I would definitely, if I lived in that area, I would definitely consider selling. And look at all the rest of these numbers as we scroll down here. Brentwood, a little bit off right there, within about 8% of the new listing price. But from 2020 to date to 2019 to date, they're about a third off of the number of where they were, a little less than half here. So Brentwood is not having the activity that we had seen back in 2019. And look at this staggering number. May 2019 sales, $121 million, with May 2020 sales of $37 million. Brentwood has almost gone to a dead stop, roughly a quarter of the numbers, quarter of the sales from just a year previous. That is dramatic. And even the sales to date, 271 million to 435 million. And from the original listing price, about 11.5% off of the original listing price asking. These are big numbers, guys. These are great big numbers. So again, if I'm living in, let's go back to Sunset Strip, this is the time to sell in Sunset Strip. If I'm in Beverly Hills, BHPO, I'm not sure if I would want to take that much of a haircut on my property right now. And I think that anybody that's living in the Beverly Hills Post Office, BH, they could probably afford to stay in their property a little bit longer. Westwood Century City, hot market. Look at this. It looks like only one sale, maybe. It's probably only one sale right there. To date, 2020, 71 million to date. So they're about 50 million behind. Kind of a bigger number. And who else is doing very, very well? West LA, always a great market. If I lived in Cheviot Hills, you're about 14% off your original asking price. This to me means you need to listen to your agent and you need to not shoot for the stars, you know, on your asking price. If you're living in Cheviot Hills, BHPO, Bel Air, Holmby Hills, you need to come down in your price point to, because you're also going to be on the market for probably 120, 150, maybe even 6 months on the market, you know? So what's the cost of carrying that property, the landscaping, the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, everything across the board? 120 days on the market may not mentally cost you anything, but you're paying for that mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, the gardener, the water, the everything. How many tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars has that cost you by not, you know, potentially listing it at the energy price that I always talk about? And the energy price is the price it's going to hopefully deliver you multiple offers in a 30 to 45 day window in today's time period. Now, I'm also going to talk about how we're going to protect you in listings and stuff like that and keep buyers out of your house. Okay. So I know it sounds weird. We're going to keep buyers out of your house, but just hang with me 1 second. Let's see what some of these other areas are doing right here. Palms Mar Vista, people love that area. Santa Monica, not really greatly affected down here. 2.25% off of the asking price. Looks like they had, did Santa Monica just have one sale for $25 million? Wow. Good for Santa Monica. Now look at this, 195 million to date. This is up till May of 2020 versus 2019 to May, $210,000. That is nothing. I mean, that is, Santa Monica has not even, do they even know that coronavirus is going on? I mean, people are still buying. And then Pacific Palisades, wow, 237 million to date versus 221. So Pacific Palisades has actually increased the amount of volume that they've had, which is just staggering. West LA, again, on par with what they have done last year. West Hollywood, not too much of a difference. Then you've got, what was this one? Bel Air, Holmby Hills, a little down, but the inventory is so nil. Bel Air, Holmby Hills, $91 million listed or sold in May 2019 versus 6.2 million. Wow. So this guy is about 20% off of asking. I'm assuming that's one home roughly. And not only did they list it and lower it, but they took less than they lowered it for originally. So just crazy, crazy, scary numbers, guys, in some of these areas. In some of the areas, they're great numbers and very, I'd be incentivized to list my home now personally. Now let's look at this next slide here. Hopefully this clicks. There we go. This is the one I love right here. All right, so let's move this down here for you. More inventory means lower prices. Absolutely. The one I want to show you right now is Porter Ranch, okay? I know this is very, very skewed of Porter Ranch because there was technically only one sale. But the great news is they listed it at a price to where they got above their asking by 2.5% above their asking price. They did sell, let's call it $3 million in 2019. April, 0 sales in Porter Ranch. That is very, very interesting. And last year to date, 5 million versus just under 4. Not terribly off from where they were at, but I'm telling you that Porter Ranch, I want to see what's going to happen in June, July, August in Porter Ranch. And I would start personally, if I was an agent, I would start marketing over there, because I think that Porter Ranch is going to be flooded with inventory towards the end of the year here, because there's been nothing happening out there. Now, if I'm a seller in Porter Ranch, here's the thing I'm looking at. 0 sales in April. So either A, and I haven't seen what the numbers are, either there's a tremendous amount of inventory right now, or B, I'll bet you this is the case, there's almost no inventory in these kind of price points in Porter Ranch right now. So what I would do is I would go out to your driveway. If I'm a seller and a homeowner, I would go out to your driveway. I would go look left. I would go look right, whichever way is your left and your right. Go look left, go look right, and go see if there's a for sale sign on your block. If there's not, sell. If there's 3, don't sell. All right. That's your competition. If you have no competition, there are people that want to move into your area and they are looking for homes. And I'm telling you, if you put an energy price with me, the Team Galardi company, on your property, you should drive multiple offers and get above your asking price. It is a great, great situation for you guys. Now, Tarzana, look at this. Tarzana, May 2019, sold $7.2 million worth of inventory. In 2020, they sold just over $10 million. But you go to that far right column, they're 20%, 19.5% off of their asking price, their original asking price. So people are taking big, big haircuts in Tarzana. So I would definitely be a little scared of that right there. And Reseda, the original listing price, Reseda is just grossly overpriced is what they're telling me, because they're starting 20% higher than where the market dictates. Then they're dropping the price. That's the sales price versus list price. And they're actually getting it 1% more than asking. But you have to start at a high number, then chase the market down. Imagine what would happen if you started at the energy price and the lower price right there. It would be incredible for you all. You would get above asking and drive this number even higher, but over in this column, we wouldn't have to be reducing your prices. So not only are you costing yourself 19.5%, so off $1 million, it's $195,000. But what about your carrying costs for 120 days? You're going to be over $200,000. Okay, it's not where you want to be. So you need to call Jason at the Team Galardi company over at Sync Brokerage, Woodland Hills. We're going to advise you and educate you more detail about your market. And wow, look at Sherman Oaks. Whoa, Sherman Oaks is getting crushed. 30% above your original asking price, and you're dropping the price. Now listen, this is not one property we're talking about. They've closed over $26 million. Wow. And then now all of a sudden you have to drop your price to get just below 5.5% below your new listing price. So if you started $1 million, you mean to tell me your property is effectively worth $700,000 because you're 30% off the asking price. And then you got to still reduce it another 5%. So another 35 grand. So your property is effectively worth 665 off $1 million. I don't know what agent out there is advising people to do this strategy, but it is costing you money. This is not how you sell properties, guys. This is not how you create wealth and cash out your equity. You've got to go the opposite way. You've got to have people perceive value. And clearly in Sherman Oaks right now, people are not perceiving value. The sales are more than half down. And then year to date, they're almost on target for year to date. So they've had some bigger closings there. But boy, the sales volume is less than half. And April was about a quarter, it looks like. Wow, wow, wow. I'm shocked about that number. Toluca Lake, sell that all day long. They had one sale for 2.8 million. Okay. Valley Village, looks like it's got to be a couple properties right there, but Valley Village is on par for what they were last year, almost identical numbers. What is that? I can't do the math real quick. $15,000 difference. That's nothing. And then year to date, a little off. North Hollywood is definitely off year to date with only $11 million of sales. So I think that's going to be, North Hollywood's going to be more of the investors, the rehab, the flips. And I think the investors are scared, and that's why they're not picking up properties over in North Hollywood right now. So be a little weary of that. And where do we go back? Chatsworth, let's see, pretty close. Northridge, you got a property in Northridge. I would be looking to unload that. Porter Ranch, get on the market now. Reseda, boy, 20% off of asking price. You guys, man, if you live in any of these areas in this box right here, I want you to call me today. My cell phone is 310-980-1256. I'm going to show you how we can keep you in this column right here from the get-go. 30 to 45 days, we can market your property. We can get you the virtual walkthrough that I was telling you about and get your property sold at 100% of the asking price, if not more. That is my goal for you guys. Okay, whew, that's a lot of information here. Let's stop the screen share for a second here. We'll go back. If there are any questions that we might have from YouTube, from Facebook Live, or even the Zoom recorded, we're on LinkedIn as well. You can find us at teamGalardi.com. Very, very easy. teamGalardi.com. We pride ourselves in just dealing straight up facts with our clients, the very black and white approach to selling property. And it's just such I mean, listen, the data doesn't lie. You know, agents might, but the data doesn't lie. So you got to make sure that you really go with an agent that's giving you valuable information. And as you can see right here, this is great information as far as I'm concerned. So let's go back to what I was talking about here, which is why is selling now the right time? So let me click on the slideshow right here for you. And let me move this. So why is selling now the right time? Well, supply versus demand. I mean, it's very simple. Again, if you go out to your driveway, you look to your left, you look to your right, and you don't see a for sale sign, the buyers are so well qualified right now. So let me back up. Number one, as a seller, I'm going to protect you. And how I'm going to protect you is I'm going to vet the buyer and the buyer's agent, and I'm going to call the buyer's lender to just make sure that they are even qualified to buy your home before they even step foot in your home. Now, what does that really entail? That means I'm going to call the lender and I'm going to get a pre-approval letter from them and make sure they are DU approved, desktop underwriting approved. Boy, when you get a desktop underwriting approval from a bank, and I'm talking, or a broker, you can do that from a broker, that's virtually saying that if you meet these XYZ conditions, you can qualify for a home. So basically the algorithm in the computer system tells them, hey, listen, we've looked at your financials, we've looked at this, and if everything lines up the way that you're saying it does, you're going to be buying this home. So number one, we're going to call the lender, we're going to have a discussion with them and get a current pre-approval letter before they even step foot in your house. Then we're going to talk to the other agent. We're going to vet the other agent. Has it been somebody I've worked with before? Is it someone I know? If it is, it makes it that much easier to get in the door. If it's not somebody I've worked with, we're going to talk to them about their sales history, how well they know the client, because that's a key factor. With all these virtual leads that you get and Zillow leads and everything, sometimes, people don't know these clients at all. They don't know where they're from. They don't know what kind of job, how much money down. So we're going to find out that information before they step foot in your home. What else can we do for you? So many different things. They're going to wear masks. They're going to wear gloves, preferably booties as well. I know it sounds crazy and it sounds overprotective, but this is what we're going to do for you. We're going to open up all the doors and sliders, the screens and everything to make sure there's a good constant airflow. Also, they're not allowed to touch anything. If they want a cabinet open, they come to me and I will open the cabinet for them. I am that serious about my showings for your properties when I list properties with you. Secondly, supply versus demand. Again, there's just nothing on the inventory right now. I cannot stress to you enough how much we need inventory and how now is the right time to cash out of your property, because when you go down below, we're talking about an election year. Now, I don't know who you vote for. I'm not telling you who I vote for, whatever, but it's going to be bad either way, I think. So, you know, you got one side that's going to be upset that the other side won, and you're going to be upset if the current president stays in the office. So I'm not saying which side I'm voting for, but I'm saying that it's going to be, and we see this every couple of years when the election happens, that the market dips down a little bit. Then you've got Thanksgiving, then you've got Christmas, you've got Hanukkah, you've got New Year's, you've got Halloween. It's the perfect time to sell. I'm telling you guys, I've had some of my busiest months in December, but I don't think this December and this November is going to be the same thing as it was last year, year before, and the last 20 years before that. Buyers are very well qualified. I've spoken about that before. Because there's such limited inventory, they have very, very few things to choose from. Now, so that makes your property even that much greater, because somebody wants to buy a home. So the desire to buy a home is greater than what they're looking for as the quality of the home. Now, I will give you an example of car sales, because everybody's bought more cars than they've probably sold or bought houses. If you went to the Porsche dealership and you looked around and there was one Porsche there, one Porsche on the lot, and it's a 911, and it's exactly the color combination, the components that you wanted, it had everything that you wanted, and you look around and there's nobody around you except the sales guy and you and one Porsche, what are you going to do? You're going to pay whatever they're asking for it, right? That's exactly what your property is. It's the one Porsche on a lot. Now, could you imagine if you went to the same Porsche dealership in December, November, anytime, and there's 100 911s down the road, and there's 10 people looking at the same Porsche, and they're all black on black, and they're all the same, you know, components and options and everything. There's 10 people looking at 100 Porsches. You're going to say, I want the best deal possible, because you've got too much supply. The demand's not there. So you're going to try and get the best deal possible. Your home is no different than that Porsche on the lot. You want to be the one Porsche on the lot with one person looking at it. And really what you want is you want the 10 people looking at that one Porsche, because you're going to pay whatever it costs. And that's exactly what we're going to do for you guys. We can limit the showings. We've talked about that. Technology is king. Let me show you this video here that Sync Brokerage does for all of their properties, okay? We're going to do a new share. We're going to go back here and wait till you see this virtual tour, everybody.
Construction ADU. As you can see, they have such stunning front yard and a very good size driveway, which gives you a lot of parking spots. So just follow me, because I'm going to give you a great tour from the inside. Now they're doing the main house.
Degrees. Now I'm going to pause this real quick and look at this. I can drag and pull 360 degrees and see the entire home. This is, again, there you go, Sync Brokerage. This is, again, what Sync Brokerage offers every single listing that we take. I can walk around and check out the entire home before I actually get inside the home. I can see what kind of finishes it has, what kind of light switches, recessed lighting, everything, crown molding, you name it. I can check the whole thing out. Now let's look at this. This is their ADU unit. I think I actually have the same door. This is their ADU unit, if I'm not mistaken. So you can buy this property with an ADU back here. Look at this. Incredible, right? Got the agent's name right there. Oops. You can check out even the neighborhood. Is this just incredible or what? I hope that you all can see it. Anyways, that is the virtual walkthrough that we do for every single property. Just an incredible, incredible feature that, again, Sync Brokerage was on cutting edge of doing that. Now, I know everybody's tired of hearing about interest rates. Barclays just came out with a 10-year fixed rate at 1.99%. I mean, what are you guys waiting for on the buyer side? On the seller side, don't tell me that you're going to sell and then you have to go buy something more expensive. Listen, if I can get you a 30-year fixed rate at 3%, if I can get you a 10-year fixed rate at under 2%, your money stretches further. And don't worry, I'm still going to get you a deal on the buy side, because this whole concept of the market's going to crash like it did in 2007, 2008 is not going to happen. I'm sorry. I don't care about the election. It's not going to drop prices 50% like they happened in Las Vegas, San Diego, Temecula, places like that. It's not going to happen. It's going to be about a 10 to 15% price correction, best case. Now, what if I could get you that 10 or 15 price correction now in today's market? Granted, Beverly Hills, we saw 20, 25%. Some of these areas, they're grossly overpriced. So the volume of inventory wasn't there. People grossly overpriced their properties. When you put a property for $40 million, $30 million, 20% is probably not as big as it is if you're at $1 million. These weren't $1 million homes, $1.5 million homes. Now, if we're 20% off on $1.5 million home, that's 300 grand. That's a tremendous amount of money. But let me do my job as well as I've done it, where I've recouped 98.7% of my clients' asking price. And again, 92% of my clients are all sellers. Interest rates are driving the buyers. They are serious buyers out there. And when you have, because of coronavirus, less buyers out there, the buyers that are out there right now are dead set on buying a home because they feel like they can get value. But as you can see in some of those stats that I put up there, people are paying 100% of the asking price, 101%. So now's the time to sell, guys. I can't stress that enough. And the interest rates are really, really driving the market. Now, one thing I want to talk to you about is the forbearances. And this is one of my favorite things to discuss here, because I don't think people really understand the forbearance side of things. So basically, when COVID and coronavirus came out, the bank said, hey, we'll let you do a forbearance program, kind of defer your payments, if you will. So people said, hey, great, I'll take advantage of it. I don't have a job. 47 million people lost their jobs out there. The reality is there's not going to be 47 million jobs when coronavirus is over. It's just not. I'd be surprised if there's 20 million jobs. Yes, the unemployment rate has gone down dramatically, but in LA County, we're still at about 20% unemployment. That's a big, big, big number. So let's just take your $4,000 a month mortgage payment for just kind of an average. You've deferred 90 days. That's $4,000 times 3 months. That's $12,000 you've deferred. Okay. The bank's going to give you essentially 3 options. You can pay it all back at once. Now let's go back to the unemployment fact here. The reality is you probably haven't gone back to work in those 90 days because we're still not out of coronavirus. And in fact, they've canceled all the 4th of July fireworks. The beaches are closed. Texas has shut down all the bars. Seattle is going through what Seattle's going through. New York is going to be shutting down the bars and canceling fireworks. Like, everything is still kind of where it was when we first got into this in February and in March. So the banks are going to ask for the payments in full and say, give me your $12,000 and you'll be current, which you won't have unless you tap into your 401k, and you're not going to pay the penalty on that. B, you can spread it out over the next 12 months, which is the most common and what people might do. But here's the thing. If you take $12,000 and you divide it by 12, it's $1,000 a month. So if you still aren't working at 91 days and you couldn't pay $4,000, what makes you think you're gonna be able to pay $5,000? You can't, is the answer. So option A that I see the future of is we're going to see a lot of inventory come up when people can't make those payments. When the banks say, hey, listen, you're out of options, buddy, pay up. Or they're going to be going into foreclosure status. And again, going back to the 07-08 crash, this is not 07-08. The banks are going to be incentivized to foreclose on your property because you have equity in your property. So they'll be able to recoup 100% of their money versus back in the day. I'll tell you, I know of condos in Long Beach that were purchased for $435,000 that sold at auction for 100 grand, 75% off of their original purchase price, if not more. So banks were not incentivized back in 07-08 to recoup and retain people's properties. That's why people were living in their homes for up to a year afterwards. They were so inundated with inventory. Now they're going to be incentivized to take your property back because they have equity. So they can turn it right back around, take a little less money, and close that deal and get paid 100%. And option C right there is tack it on the back end. So now if you have 12,000 in deferred payments, and let's say you're lucky enough to get a job, then all of a sudden you can tack on that mortgage, which is due when you refinance, when you sell your property, or when you pay off your loan maturity date. So then you owe 12 grand. Not too bad of a situation. You can always make more payments and pay that loan balance down. But here's the reality. We're now 90 plus days in coronavirus. What if you defer your payments and the banks have said, okay, we'll allow you to do another forbearance plan? What if you do another 180 days or another 90 days, I should say, and now all of a sudden you're at 180 days? So if we're at July, that's July, August, September. Now your payments are due October. What did I just tell you earlier? October, November, December, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's Eve, election. I mean, there's October, November, December is going to be the worst time to be selling it. So you've got to realize what you're doing right now and where you're at. And basically you're putting a Band-Aid over an axe wound is what I'm looking at. So now if you've deferred another 90 days, you're at $24,000 negative to your bank, to your mortgage. You won't be able to do option A, which we go back to it, which is pay the whole thing off, which is going to be tapping into your 401k, and you should not be doing that. Your $4,000 mortgage payment went to $5,000 at 90 days because you had $12,000 deferred. Now you've got $24,000 deferred. Now your mortgage payment is $6,000 a month. So you went from a $48,000 a year mortgage payment to a $72,000 a year mortgage payment. You don't have the money. I'm telling you, like, there's not, this option B is not going to work for a lot of people. So guess what? Option C is going to be to tack it on the back end, which all the mortgage servicers, or most of them, I should say, are allowing to do. So sure, it's out of sight, out of mind until you go to refi, sell, or pay off that the loan, the maturity. So let me ask you this. If you had a $700,000 home, the value of your home is $700,000 with about $100,000 equity, and you lose 25, call it 25, 24, $25,000, you've lost 24 to 25% of your equity. Ouch. Now you take that $700,000 mortgage, and like I told you before, let's say prices drop 10%. Well, what's 10% of 70,000? That's 70 grand minus the 25 grand that you've tacked on. 70 grand. It's $95,000. You're left with $5,000. You're now coming out of your pocket to sell that property. So if you take 10% and now let's go up to 15%, worst case scenario, that's $105,000 plus your 25,000. You're $130,000 negative in this point. So 700,000. Now your property value is 570 is what you're looking at. You were upside down. You've now just created a short sale in your home. I'm talking this could happen in the next 6 months. These are the numbers that you need to be concerned about and you should be caring about right now. If you sell your property today, you're about $12,000 negative equity going into about $16,000 negative equity. Not as bad of a situation as if you would be losing 25% of your equity if you went for 180 days. Now, what if you went past 180 days? What if you went for 360 days? It could be a nightmare. Be gone. All your equity would be gone. You would be in a short sale and or foreclosure at that point. So this is just coming from a sheer educational standpoint. And I really want everybody to understand what is going on with the forbearances, what, you're going to be able to do to protect yourself. And yeah, I mean, listen, the high cost of overpricing could hurt you. The forbearance issue could hurt you. Oh man, I'm spent. What do you guys think? Hopefully you all thought that was great information here. I know that we were going to talk about doing a live pricing strategy right now, but it looks like some people have zoomed out. People are over zoomed, I think. So we're going to skip the live pricing strategy right now because I was hoping that somebody would give me a subject property and we will save that for the next time. So if you guys have any questions about your property, an investment property, I love investment properties because that's just, it's black and white business. It makes the most sense. There you go. That's how you can find me. That's how you can call me, everybody. Oops, let me move this. I don't know why this won't hide. Sorry, everybody. All right. So anyways, there's all my information for you, everybody. There is my cell phone, 310-980-1256. You can reach me at jason@teamgalardi.com. That's teamgalardi.com. Check out everything. Please call me for a confidential appointment, confidential listing, or if you just want to invest and you want some great deals out there, please let me know. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. I greatly appreciate all of you. Stay safe and let me know how I can help. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.